had things to do earlier.
Oh.
Gotta look stunning. So, a win like this, a rule run victory, last home game of the year, how does that push you guys to go even harder for the rest of the season?
Well, I think more than anything, what I liked is we came out and, they came up, they put up the 2 runs at the beginning, and what I loved is that we didn't get tight. Autumn, calmed down, she took control, threw a great game from then on out. And in the bottom half of the inning, I love that, Katie Reed came up and we answered back. And I think that was just so key for the game. So a couple of weeks ago, I think we would have let a small situation like that spiral and we would tighten up. But tonight, I think building off of the momentum that we got this weekend, we were able to take control of the situation and play our game, even though that first inning didn't go our way.
What changed for you all to be able to kind of take that proverbial punch in the mouth and then get up and come back and finish the game?
Ooh, that's a great question. I think number one, I think we got a lot of confidence this weekend out of our senior class. I thought they did a good job and we have a lot of faith in them. But I think the other thing is our pitching staff has really done a good job. I think Autumn Humes gets a lot of credit for that today. She did a good job calming down and making her pitches. And then I thought that Abby Cheek was outstanding in the hot corner, and she got us out of some potential, base runners that they could have had that might have changed the tide a little bit. So I was really pleased with what those guys did.
I know,
particularly coming off a couple of tough losses, how good was it to send this group of seniors off? It felt like a celebration for the last 4 games.
They've been so cool. It was really awesome because Monday night, not very often do you get to have a senior weekend where you're playing an evening series. And, the fact that we played so well, the fact that, even today, Henson hit the best home run I've ever seen her hit. But, that weekend, we got to have fireworks and all sorts of things, being able to celebrate people. And that's what we do at Kentucky. We celebrate people. We not only do success. So when you can appreciate those that play for you and you can win doing it, that's really what we're all about.
I know you talked a little bit after the Auburn game about you guys overcoming some inconsistencies. Specifically today, where did you see those inconsistencies kind of go away and become more consistent?
I think right after the first inning. I would have said like 2 or 3 weeks ago we would have let the first inning snowball. I think we did that against a couple of teams. And then I think just immediately our offense shut it down and Autumn came out with a lot of confidence and did that. So I think, I don't think it was inconsistent. I think EKU did a good job in that inning and we took control. And that's the biggest thing. If you want to be consistent, you have to be in control of the situation. I thought we did a good job with that.
What did Autumn do to kind of quiet them down after that first inning?
She started changing speeds and mixing her locations a little bit. I think they were amped up. They just swung the first 2 pitches. They were a little high, and what Autumn did was calm herself down, started to, mix speeds, and she was able to handle it from there on out.
What was your reaction to Abby being named the finalist for Player of the Year today? And how deserving is she?
Yes, that's the thing. I think it's about time. Like the fact that Abby hasn't been there before is just a tribute to how hard that she's worked and she's really put herself on the national stage. I mean, her pitch selection this year, the fact that she's able to take control of her at-bats instead of swinging out of the zone and everything. She's been such a good player for us for 4 years and such a good hitter and such a powerful hitter. It's nice to see her to put up the numbers and then get noticed nationally.
How much does it say about her that she had the kind of first 3 years that she had and has found a way to really take it to the next level as a season?
I think, every athlete comes into, their mental game on their own. And the thing about Abby is she's such a try-hard person, and she over-tried everything. And this year, for whatever reason, she's been able to control her effort level. She's been able to really, control her at-bats, look at the pitcher, look at things differently. And she's letting the game come to her instead of just trying to go on the attack all the time. And anytime a hitter can do that with the kind of talent that she has, they're a force to reckon with.
You guys have a pretty unique finish to the season with back-to-back road weekends and the SC tournament. What's the approach to this next 3 weeks coming up here?
Well, it comes in the middle of finals, so that's the thing that's a little tricky because we're such good students. But I think the number one, anytime you get an opportunity to play down in Alabama, it's a special place. They have a very avid fan base for softball. So if you're a softball fan, you enjoy playing down there because I expect a sellout crowd, and that's always nice to see and be in that environment. And that's the kind of environment you're in the postseason. So it's nice to be able to do that before we get into the SEC tournament and then, hopefully that NCAA tournament. And then going to Texas Tech is kind of nice because they're a really good team. They're doing well in the Big 10, or Big 12, I'm sorry. And they have, they have a lot of wins, so it's a great RPI game. So if we can finish strong, that might help our cause right now with our RPI sitting at 16. But more importantly, it just really gets us prepared for the postseason. And, that's our goal all along. Our goal all along is to be able to have a deep finish and go to Oklahoma. So hopefully that'll help us out.
This weekend, you guys are going to see a Kentucky native, Montana Fouts, who a lot of people are already comparing to somebody like Jenny Finch. What makes her so good, and what are you guys going to have to do when you face her?
Well, she throws so hard, and that's the thing. She's very tall, and her limbs are very long, and she throws hard. So by the time she releases the ball, she's probably like 35 feet away from you. So that alone really decreases the reaction time, and you're talking you have about 0.3 seconds to make a decision. And then she's such a hard worker. She has great command of her hard stuff, and then she's able to throw a rise ball, which anyone will tell you high heat is really tough to catch up with. So I think those are her gifts, and she's a strong kid, and she's very competitive. So it's going to take quite an effort to be able to string a bunch of great at bats together.
Anything else? All right, thanks guys.